There are 7 counts, 7 crimes named in the charge. It's conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine, providing methamphetamine to CCA inmates, providing synthetic marijuana to CCA inmates, providing tobacco products to CCA inmates, possessing methamphetamine at CCA, possessing synthetic marijuana at CCA, and possessing tobacco products at CCA. The name of the correctional officer at CCA who is charged in this case is Anton Ono. His role was to smuggle the contraband provided by him into the prison by the various conspirators. The 2 inmates who are inside CCA who are charged is Carl Carter and Stephen Rowlett. There are 4 other people who are charged who are civilians. They're family members and friends of the inmates. The allegations in the complaint describes a prison where, for a price, inmates could have their choice of vices, everything from methamphetamine to tobacco. This investigation began back in September of 2015 when investigators learned that drugs and other contraband were regularly being smuggled into CCA. Inside the prison, inmates took deliveries of contraband during meetings of their 12-step drug program, in the law library, and during church services. During phone calls from CCA, inmates gave family members and friends instructions on how to get money to the people who provided the contraband. In some cases, they actually argued on the phone over how to purchase Walmart MoneyGrams. During one such conversation, inmates talked about getting blistered on drugs and walking around like a zombie behind bars. In one phone call from behind bars, an inmate directed family members to try Superflea, a flea market in Kansas City, Missouri, to find synthetic marijuana that he wanted. Inmates devised a scheme for disguising money arriving at prison by using large manila envelopes with the names of law firms printed on the outside. They concealed the money beneath letter-sized white envelopes affixed by Scotch tape to the outside of the larger manila envelopes. The bottom line is, while the contraband was available, it was also very, very expensive. In one phone call, an inmate talks about a pack of cigarettes costing $150. Some of these charges carry penalties of up to 20 years in federal prison as well as substantial fines. And I want to commend all the agencies that were involved in this case. Approximately 60 officers were at the CCA facilities last weekend when they entered the facility. We have folks who've been working together at state and local level. We have the KBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, the U.S. Secret Service, and the Internal Revenue Service. It was a textbook example of how local, state, and federal law enforcement officials work together. I want to acknowledge the amazing work that Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Erin Tomasic has done in this case in putting it all together, and she will be the person who will be prosecuting it for the office. We have some time. We'll open up for a few questions. I'll be happy to entertain those. Well, through the investigative techniques is often you get leads from other cases that you're working on, and without getting into specifics, that's what we had happen here. I had someone ask me, why is it important? All prisons have folks smuggling in cigarettes and things of that nature. But this is different. When we have people who are out on parole or probation, and probation department brings them in and they have a dirty UA because of their drug use, we send them to CCA in hopes that we can keep them off the street and keep them clean. And when they get to CCA, as it's alleged in the complaint, drugs of their choice are readily available. It's just a matter of buying them. And in this situation, it was a substantial amount of money that these drugs were costing people. A more important reason is that the amazing folks who help protect this courthouse, the U.S. Marshal Service, they have to go up to CCA and they have to retrieve these prisoners to bring them to court. I would hate to think that someone who would be high on methamphetamine would do something to harm themselves, or worse yet, harm one of our marshals. So that's why it's really important for us to take the steps that we took here. Well, like all investigations, we're running down any additional leads. I suspect expect that there will be more individuals involved. This wasn't a few guys working together. This was a system, a scheme that involved a number of individuals that goes, I think, beyond the folks who've been named so far. No, sir. They're not. They're also not allowed to have pornography. And when we went up there, pasted on the walls of cells like wallpaper was pornography. I find it really hard to believe that a jailer who's supposed to walk by every 30 minutes wouldn't notice that. Or the smell of K2, or the smell of marijuana. That's true. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Yes, they have. I'm going to take tender my resignation to the President and to the Attorney General about 10 or 11 days ago. My last day with the office will be this Friday. It's been the most amazing experience of my professional life. Take a week off and come back, and I'll go to work for a firm here in the Kansas City area. DOJ policy prohibits me from saying while I'm still employed. But talk to me on Monday. I'll talk all day long. No, sir. I have a commitment to my soon-to-be future partners, but one never wants to say never. But it's not something that's in the immediate future, I can assure you.
Why not wait until the next president, Democrat, staying on to after the?
That's a good question. I thought, having come from outside the Department of Justice, that's what I was under the impression that individuals did. I took it down last weekend. I had a picture in my office of colleagues that I started with the first time we all went to the White House. When I look at that picture, 40% of them are no longer there. It's not uncommon to leave before the end of the administration. And in my case, I had this, what I think is a rather wonderful offer from a great law firm. So I'll just go ahead and take advantage of it now. And also, the office is in a very good place. The interim U.S. Attorney is going to be Tom Beal, my first assistant. Tom is a fantastic leader. He's well-liked and well-respected. So I have no reason to believe that I'm not leaving it in good hands.
Now, for somebody in your position, you have to go through a safe image.
Yes, sir.
And you know that right now the Senate's not being very cooperative with any appointments that the President makes.
Correct.
Are you hoping that they stick with the process a bit quickly, or do you think that this is problematic?
Well, Mr. Bill will be in as the interim U.S. Attorney. Well, and that's something we have to ask the White House. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know if your office has Joel Tucker in custody?
That I don't know, sir.
Among all those cases that you've worked over since 2010, you've worked with Miller, police chief,
Sure.
chief of police department, Wichita Police Department. Any cases stand out in particular?
Well, I've been asked that a lot in the past couple days, and I could keep you here for much longer than you wanted to stay for me to talk about the amazing work that the men and women in this office do and the incredible cases that they bring. Everything from indicting 22 members of a large gang in southwest Kansas that terrorized the community and preyed upon undocumented persons, and we indicted and convicted 22 of those folks, and as a result, the crime rate dropped by almost 50%. Within blocks of this courthouse. When I first came on board, there was a case called Camera Shy, where folks in that community were terrified to have their children walk to a middle school that was less than 1,000 feet away. and they had to have an agreement with the Kansas City, Kansas School District to have their children picked up by a school bus. We went in, took the bad guys out of that community, and within 6 months, the Star wrote a wonderful article about a renaissance at that middle school and how that community had been liberated from their oppressors. So when you have cases like that there, and those are just a few, there are many. But the thing I think some of the most, I'm most proud of is being able to work with the people who are in this building, Topeka and Wichita, along with my colleagues at DOJ, and getting out and spreading the message that we're not some monolith, we don't live in an ivory tower, we're there to truly help local law enforcement, to go out to far western Kansas and to talk with people, to tell a sheriff in a county of 6,000 people, if there's anything we can do, you let us know, and have them following up on it. That's been very, very gratifying. They will be making their first appearance in Topeka. I'll refer to Ms. Tomasic on that.
Their first appearance was today at 1:30. All of the magistrates in Kansas City, Kansas are out today, and that is why they appeared in Topeka. And their detention hearing will be held Thursday at 2:30 in this courthouse before Judge James.
Well, if there are no other questions, we'll let you go. And before I do that, I want to thank you for the past 5.5 years not beating up on me too badly and working with us. It's been a real pleasure and joy. Thank you very much.